morning. You're watching the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning, Navneet. I'm Agam Vakil. The top headlines of this hour. Indian markets declined for the fourth straight session. Nifty trades near 10,650. India VIX surges. In open interest, in SRF and Volta surges more than 20% after traders take fresh positions in their respective futures. And Bajaj Finance and FinServ are the top Nifty gainers yet again after posting strong fourth quarter earnings. Bajaj Auto gains ahead of its numbers. And the US Pharma watchdog makes 7 procedural observations on Biocon's Bengaluru plant. A 3-judge Supreme Court bench will later today hear Congress's plea against the Karnataka government's decision to invite B.S. Yediyurappa to form the government.
Well, and all eyes will be on that Supreme Court hearing today, but let's take a look as to what's happening in the futures and options market. It's been a weak opening to this Friday morning, and we are waiting for that Supreme Court verdict to come by. But if you look at Nifty right now, it is trading below the 10,650 mark. Let me also tell you, the premium on the futures has been slipping lower. Single-digit premium is what you're seeing on your screen for the May futures of almost 7 to 8 points. The Bank Nifty is also not doing too well. In fact, it slipped below the mark of 26,000 as we speak. Once again, the futures have slipped into a discount of almost 1 to 2 rupees. In fact, all these sectoral indices today are trading in the red, with major cuts seen actually for the Nifty PSU banking index, and also some bit of profit booking coming in for the likes of the Nifty FMCG index, which has been outperforming in the last few days. Volatility continues to be on the higher side. Let's just pull up the India VIX as well and check where that's trading right now. India VIX has seen increase of almost 3%. So once again, inching very closer to that mark of 14, which is not a very comforting sign for the bulls. Let's tell you what's happening on the option side. Then in the last 2 sessions, what we are witnessing, the Nifty PCR has been slipping lower, and that's on account of some bit of unwinding that has come in on the put side and some fresh writing on the call side. And that trend, at least in the opening session today, continues, because if you look at the 10,700 and the 10,800, both these strikes as of now have added between 3 to 6 lakh shares, and on the put side just about 10,600 is the strike where some bit of addition has been seen of almost 2.5 lakh shares. Maximum OI concentration remains the same, 10,500 on the put side, 11,000 call on the 11,000 call is where the maximum open interest is right now. But Agam, I think if we, that is in case if we breach the 10,500 mark, that's the key support level that the market will be watching out for. And as I can see on the screen, the 10,300 put strike has also started to become active.
Right, Navneet, of course, 10,700 is for the second straight day. We are looking at more writing, and that's the 10,700 call that we're talking about. Let's take a look at all the stocks which are looking at a substantial increase in open interest in today's day of trade, and a 39% surge in the OI for SRF, which means a massive amount of shorts building in, considering SRF is down by 9%, and it's the same for Voltas too. Fresh shots being taken in Voltas with an increase of 32% in open interest. Arvind, again, 11-12% surge in OI, fresh shots there as well, and shorts in Berger Paints as well. So a lot of red out there when it comes to the futures and options space too. BPCL largely flattish, another 8% added in OI. Let's take a look at whether or not we are looking at some changes in OI in terms of declines. No, not too much. Balakrishna Industries and NMDC perhaps slight, but that's not enough for a trend so to speak. So once again, we keep an eye on several of these counters, especially on the short side. Then SRF will be one of the more important ones.
In fact, both of them, Agam, have been reacting to their numbers which were on the weaker side, SRF and Voltas. So definitely watch out for them. We'll also get you some expert view going on these stock futures. But before we get our guest on the show, here's a reminder for you all. If you have any queries in the futures and options market, you can call us now on 022-4540-4141. Write to us on Twitter, Facebook, and for the ones watching our show on YouTube, you can write your queries on that platform as well. Just don't forget to put the AskSpeakYou hashtag. Let's welcome our F&O experts then for the day. Joining us on the show is Bhavin Mehta of Dolat Capital and Brijesh Singh of Stock Axis. Good morning to both of you gentlemen, and appreciate you joining us today on Bloomberg Quint. Bhavin, let me come to you first. Weakness continues. We breached the 10,700 mark in yesterday's trade. Where would you bet? Do you see more downside coming in for Nifty, considering now the expiry is round the corner?
Definitely, we believe that current momentum continues to remain on the negative side, especially the mid cap and small cap indices, where we have seen good amount of cuts over last 10 trading session. Some bit of respite there in yesterday's trade, but unfortunately, the overall built up continues to remain negative in most of the mid cap and small cap names. Coming to the benchmark indices for Nifty, while 10,500 definitely from option point of view is the key level, but overall development even in this space is not positive, because yesterday we saw good amount of addition, close to about 1 million shares being added at 10,700 call. So I believe that for short term, definitely markets up move can be restricted to 10,700 to 750. At the same time, if we slide below 10,500, it can be very negative for the Nifty. So overall view continues to remain negative for the time being.
Brijesh, good morning to you as well. Are you also of the same opinion? Do you also expect more weakness on the benchmark indices right now?
Good morning, everyone. See, definitely I'll go with the analyst, what the other analyst has said. Like, we check it out, the Nifty from a level of 9,929. We have seen a one-way rally to the level of 9,951 to the level of 10,929. It was a one-way rally. And if we draw a Fibonacci retracement, taking this 2 points to 23.6% of the Fibonacci retracement comes around 10,700. So that momentum of 10,700 should not be broken for the upward swing. Now, since it has been broken and Nifty has been trading below that level of 10,700, so 10,700 or say 10,720 would be acting as a resistance. Now, downside, it has a nice support at 50% retracement value that comes around 10,440 zone, but on 38.2% retracement value comes around 10,550. So I'm looking Nifty breaking 10,600 and drifting below that level, and the first level to watch would be as a support would be 10,550 followed by 10,440 zone.
Okay, that's the view coming in on Nifty from Brijesh, but let's find out how are our experts looking to play Nifty and Bank Nifty in today's trade. Bhavin, if I could come to you, any option strategy that you're deploying on Nifty or on Bank Nifty?
We have a sell call on Bank Nifty future. Yesterday we had seen good amount of development at 26,000 strike. Unfortunately, today Bank Nifty has moved below the same. Earlier support zone was somewhere around 26,200, which was a major support zone. Now that Bank Nifty is below that level, definitely good amount of pressure is anticipated. Few of the stock has already given a reversal or a breakdown. So for that matter, ICICI Bank and Axis Bank continues to look negative as of now. So we have a sell call at current level of about 25,945 to 25,980. For Bank Nifty future, sell with the stop loss of 26,060. Target price will be close to about 25,800, which is a minor support zone, but any move below that will be a fresh negative for Bank Nifty.
All right, Brijesh, you're also looking at a play on the Nifty coming back to the levels of 10,600. What would you do with the derivatives?
See, as a looking the chart, what I've been found out, like as I have said, that Nifty a couple of days back, Nifty has formed gravestone doji, which is generally this doji is formed at the time of an uptrend reversal. So one negative sign has been that, followed by the support which I was talking about, 23.6% of the return 10,700 has been broken. Even the advanced peak fog, which is usually used to look for a trend, it's been pointing a downside. So all this thing summing up indicate that there are downside more as compared to an upside. So any juncture, if Nifty give a bounce back till the level of 10,600 it is, or say even 10,660, one can go for a sell side with keeping a stop loss of 10,700 and look for the downside target. First psychological target would be 10,600, but I said that 38.2% retracement value of the 2.9951 to the level of 10,920 and comes at around 10,550. So the ultimate target for a couple of sessions would be 10,550.
Okay, so that's a sell call coming from our experts, where Brijesh has given a sell call on Nifty and Bhavin has a sell call on Bank Nifty futures. So they are looking at futures today and not options. But let's also get you some strategies going with regard to individual stock futures today. Bhavin, if I could come to you, which are the stock futures that you're betting on?
Coming to stock future part, we have a sell on Bank of Baroda, which is currently quoting around level of 129. We have a sell with stop loss of 132 for a target price of 120. The major momentum has already happened in this particular stock. However, break below 130 level will be very negative for the stock. So that is a one trade which is on the sell side. At the same time, we are recommending buy on Oil India. Now we have been very positive on ONGC earlier, but the stock has already given a good up move. We believe that Oil India can be another stock that can be looked at for a probable target of 255. Currently stock is quoting somewhere in the range of 245 to 244. Stop loss should be around level of 242.
Okay, well, as a continuation of a trend, we are looking at more weakness in TVS Motor Company. Of course, this is after we've seen a lot of brokerages come ahead and, well, put a negative price target, and it's actually heading downwards now at trading at around 570. And JSW Steel, on the other hand, of course, we've had a really strong quarter coming in, and we're looking at, well, marginal moves there. Let's pick up on these stocks because I believe Brijesh also has calls on these. Brijesh, how would you play the stocks that I've just mentioned, and what is your advice here?
See, I'll come with the JSW Steel. If we check it out on a hourly chart as well as the 4-hourly chart, the stock has been trading on a higher tops and a higher bottom formation, and it's been trading in a narrow range. Downside support comes at around 326 to 327 or say 330, and on the higher side it has a resistance at 340.41 followed by 348. So one can take a contra call in it with keeping buying somewhere around 330 or 332 around, and keeping a strict stop loss of 326. Look for the target of 341, 342 followed by 348. Regarding within TVS Motor, the stock has been hammered from a level of 670 with increase in volume. So even the oscillators are still indicating there is more downside left, and so one can take a sell call in it with at the current juncture of 570 around, with keeping a stop loss of 580 or 583, and look for the target of 535 to 530 in this expiry.
Okay, so those are the trading strategies from our technical experts, but switching focus to the segment where we try and address a couple of our viewer queries. And thanks a lot for tuning in. We're receiving a lot of your futures and options query. I'm going to go to Chetan's query first, who writes to us. He's saying he's got 3,600 call strike of TCS, which is out of the money strike, and his premium is already down 25% from the price he must have paid, and he wants to know what to do. Should he be booking losses, or he can stay put till the expiry? Let's find out from Bhavin. Bhavin, what's the view on TCS on the charts? If somebody's bought the 3,600 put and the premium is down almost 25% from the buy price, what would you advise?
Definitely, after such a sharp move in this particular stock, I would not recommend to buy out of money call. So his best chance would be either if he is still positive, because I believe that Infosys seems like a better bet in comparison to TCS in view of the sharp momentum. However, if he still wants to make money, it's going to be very difficult on his particular 3,600 call. He should shift it to 3,500 call, which seems like a better bet, though it can be slightly costlier. But 3,600 he should clearly exit as of now.
All right, well, that's your view on TCS. Let's move on to the next query, and that one's from Girish Kumar on Facebook. He says he holds 2 lots of Cholamandalam at 1,621, and one lot of Bajaj Finance at 1971. What to do with both? So shall we address Bajaj Finance first, considering it's on an up move? His entry price is about 1979. He's clearly making a lot of money considering the strong earnings that we've seen right now. It's currently trading at 2095. That's his May futures, also bucking the trend while the rest of the market sees the red. Bajaj Finance continues to move upwards. So Brijesh, I'm going to take up Bajaj Finance with you. What's the view here? What levels should you keep an eye on, and what would you advise Girish Kumar should do with his position?
So I'll say better to hold on till stock doesn't break 2055 level. So keep that thing as a trailing stop loss and hold on your position. On a higher side, 2145 to 2155 is a resistance zone. So where he can book his profit in a May future. And regarding with the Chola, can you give me the buying price of Chola?
Sure, it's 1621.
See, Chola, no doubt, from a level of roughly around 1750 around, it went into a profit booking mode, and from 1500 roughly, it had given a bounce back. So I'll say just hold on to your stocks with keeping a stop loss of 1550 till if 1550 doesn't break. I'll say just hold on. There are chances that pullback can be seen to your cost price where you can book your loss in it. So right now just keep a stop loss of 1550 till 1550 doesn't break. I'm looking hourly chart and 4-hourly chart. They are giving up highest formation on a oscillator, so which is giving a positive sign. Your cost price would be coming in a couple of days where you can book your losses in it.
Okay, that's the view coming in on Cholamandalam. On YouTube, Nikhil Raja writes to us, he shorted L&T futures at 1348 and he's also shorted Exide futures at 259. So he's got two short positions and he wants a view on both of them. Bhavin, first, L&T futures shorted at 1348. If you could also pull up the price. It's 1358 right now. What would you advise him to do?
We have been pretty much negative on L&T, and till the time it does not move past level of 1410 now, the view will be negative on this particular stock. On the downside, 1320 is the level where there is a minor demand zone that has been identified. If it breaks that level, it can be further negative for the stock. Now, company has not declared the numbers. I believe that next week it is slated to declare the number. So view remains negative. He can continue to hold it. But in view of the event ahead, he can probably hedge this position by buying some out of money call option to hedge his position in particular. At the same time, the second one, Exide, which is currently quoting somewhere around 257 to 58 level. View on this particular stock is not that negative, but I believe it can be a range trade between level of 250 on the downside to close to about 265 on the upside.
All right. Well, that's the view on Exide. We've naturally will have a lot of queries which have to do with whether or not we can enter the Nifty and take a long position in the Nifty, considering we've seen so much weakness. We have one such query here on YouTube as well. Rajesh Nair asks, can we enter the 10,800 call? That is the May at a premium of say around 25. Brijesh, can I take this one up with you? Would you recommend buying calls at this point in time, or would you wait for some more correction? Well, it's currently trading at 35, so the premium has certainly moved up higher. What would you recommend, Rajesh, do with his his position or view on this particular aspect?
See, as I said, the trend of the Nifty is been down. So rather than buying the call of 10,800, if he wants, then he can do one thing. He can short at the 10,800 call with keeping a stop loss of 55 rupees. And downside, I am looking stock the 10,800 call going all the way down to 5 rupees, or even it can be 0 also. So if, rather than buying it, the selling would be the better option, because the trend has been down and the chances of touching Nifty 10,555 is on a higher side rather than 10,700 also.
Okay, that's the view on Nifty. Remember, at the start of the show, both our experts have been sounding a bit bearish, where we did get a sell call on both Nifty as well as the Bank Nifty future. So keep that in mind before taking any bullish position on the index. I'm going to take a query on PC Jewelers. Tushar Tiwari writes to us on YouTube. He wants a view on the 100 put strike of PC Jewelers, and the stock is currently trading at 170, and surprisingly that's a strike which is active actually on the put side. It is the second highest open interest where 100 strike has been seen. 17 lakh shares in open interest right now. I don't know if he's already taken a position. If he has, he's not mentioned the premium to us. But Bhavin, what's the view on PC Jewelers? Let's say if somebody's entered into the 100 put strike, should they be holding on till the expiry?
Okay, the active strikes on the PC Jewelers is right now at 200, 150 and 100. There are majorly the three strikes that are very active, and apart from that 50 is also active. View is definitely not positive on PC Jeweler. It's kind of negative. We anticipate that stock can probably go closer to level of 140 on the downside. However, 100 put is a kind of a gambling bet that one can take, which is currently quoting somewhere in the region of 2.50. But there is fair bit of possibility that stock may not see that kind of decline in near term. So my view is that probably view is negative. His positioning is, his positioning is not correct. Rather than betting on 100 kind of a put, it's better to buy 150 put in that context.
All right, with that, we'll move on to the next one. And another one is also on the Nifty Bank. We have another one of our regulars, Bikash Pekare, asking us about the view on the Nifty Bank. His question specifically is, he says that he has one lot of the Nifty Bank put at around 215 with a strike price of 25,700. His question is, what should he do with this particular put? So he's bought the 25,700 put at 215. Can we take a look at this particular put? So it's trading at around 208, slightly below his entry price. Brajesh, if I can take this up with you, what would you recommend Bikash should do with his position? What is the strategy and what is the stop loss?
See, overall trend of the Bank Nifty also has been similar to what the Nifty has been there. Making a high of 26,670 zone on a spot is been the profit booking has been seen. Now immediately it has a resistance at 26,200 juncture. On a downside, it has to break 25,770 zone to move more downside. So I'll say hold on. There are chances that the Bank Nifty would be breaking the juncture of 25,770 zone, and it would be drifting to the level of 25,500 where the support lies. So hold on to your position. Chances are there that it would be you would be coming in the profit.
Okay, so Vijay Kore on Facebook has the same question on the same particular strike. That is, his question is also with the Bank Nifty 25,700 put, which he has bought at around 87. So he's clearly making a lot of money right now. And Vijay, as Brajesh has suggested, that you should also hold on to your position. Well, of course, provided you keep your trading stop losses intact, you are likely to make more money from here on.
Well, clearly the bias seems to be on the downside for Bank Nifty. I'm just going to take one more query. Chetan on YouTube is asking, what's the view on Sun Pharma 490 call strike? Remember, we were looking at a positive opening because the tarot numbers were better than estimates, but Sun Pharma, I believe, is trading in the red in today's trading session, somewhere about levels of 474 or thereabouts. So, Bhavin, what's the view? If somebody's taken a position on the 490 call strike, I don't have the premium figure, but what would you suggest? What is it indicating on the charts for Sun Pharma?
Sun Pharma overall view remains negative, especially given the fact that stock is now already broken below level of 500. But one should note that there is a good amount of concentrated short in majority of large cap pharma names. So we have seen good amount of short built up in Sun Pharma, Lupin, Dr. Reddy earlier this series, and it continues to remain in similar kind of fashion over last 3 to 4 expiry. So if it breaks a level of 500 once again, there can be a good amount of short covering. However, till the time it stays below the same, I anticipate stock to move closer to 450, 460 level once again. It's similar to like most of the PSU bank, most of the pharma companies are also witnessing similar kind of trend. Though relative selling pressure remains lower in the pharma as of now, but one should be extremely cautious on the long side. As long as he is short, he should continue to hold on to the short position.
Okay, well, I think we have query for time for one more query, pardon me. We have Prabhu Krishnan on Facebook. He says that he's bought Adani Enterprises at 147 and it has now reduced to 123. He is right, it's actually trading at 123. He wants to know what he should do. Bhavin, I'll come back to you on this one. What would you advise Prabhu should do with his position? He is sitting on a little bit of a loss. His entry point for Adani Enterprises is 147.
The stock has good amount of support at 120. Currently, stock was quoting somewhere around 120 to 123 levels when I last checked. I do not have the live prices right now, but I believe that any move below 120, he should definitely exit this position. We have seen good amount of distribution happening in the counter since level of about 145 to 150. The initial breakdown level was about 180, so we have seen good amount of selling. However, there is no respite coming in for the stock. So my view is that on downside, there is high probability that once 120 is taken out on closing basis, the stock can go down by another 15 to 20%. So probably more or less in the range of 100 to 105, where we can anticipate some amount of support coming in for the stock. At the same time, on upside, if it breaks level of 130, there can be a positive trade for target of 145, wherein he can probably make money out of his position. Not at least make money, but break even kind of a thing on this particular call.
That's the view on Adani Enterprises. Very quickly, I'm just going to take a query on Voltas because that's the stock which is in focus today. Mudit Ubroy writes to us on YouTube. He's got call option of Voltas at 580 strike, for which he's paid a premium of almost 3.9. If I'm not mistaken, he must have bought it today because the premium has collapsed substantially on the call side. Reason being the stock has seen severe cuts post its numbers, which were pretty much muted. Brijesh, if I could come to you, if somebody has taken a 580 call strike at 3.9, pardon me, what would you suggest? Can they hold on? Is there any thing on the charts that's suggesting there could be a bit of recovery in Voltas?
See, as a gap down opening and with the increase in volume, chances are a little bit negative. So I'll say better to book your losses in the call option in it. And if we talk about the immediate support, then support lies at the major support lies at 490 to 495 juncture, followed by 510. So these are the important support. So if so immediately 510 should act as a support. If from there we can see the bounce back. But I'm not looking stock jumping above 565 or 568. That would be acting as a resistance. So better to book your loss in the call option, and if he wants, then he can go for a short rather than buying it.
Okay, well, with that, we've reached the end of this session on the F&O show. So I'd like to thank our experts, Brijesh and Bhavin, for joining us and giving us their views, as well as taking us through some of the viewer queries as well. And with that, we're going to wrap this edition of the F&O show, but don't go anywhere. Lots more lined up, so stay tuned in a Bloomberg Mint.